is happening. There's no way in a billion years you could ever convince me that 2020 was on the up and up. Even tons of Democrats agree. There's no way the vegetable in chief got 15 to 18 million more votes than the Black Messiah, Barack Obama. At the end of the video, there was a clip. It was all about Lion King and different political figures. Even AOC and Newscomb and Pritzker were adorned. Their face was on animals. And now the Democrats are making a huge deal about Michelle and Obama being hoisted on the bodies of gorillas. And so when you salivate like vultures because you have no accomplishments, you have nothing to say, you have nothing to do, you haven't done anything for Americans, this is the kind of stuff you glom onto. It's trending all over, blowing up the internet. Everybody and their mother on that side is talking about it, especially these ridiculous actors like Billy Baldwin. Who the hell cares about Billy Baldwin? And Chris Cuomo is coming out of his little, fake red pill era now. And he said, this is terrible. Stephen A. Smith, this is the most racist thing ever. But, you guys had zero problem when you guys did the same to President Trump, comparing him to an orangutan or this.
So if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
And nobody talked about this. Michelle Obama saying that on a public broadcast, saying in front of the whole world, she's not going to buy anything, any clothing made by and designed by white people. And no phony outrage. This, ladies and gentlemen, is real racism.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobe.
Imagine if Melania would have said, I'm not going to buy any more black-owned labels or designer clothes. Could you imagine? There would be wall-to-wall coverage on every single one of these woke networks. The hypocrisy, ladies and gentlemen, knows no bounds. But wait, there's more.
I know your point, but he did fire Darren Beatty in reaction, they believe, in part to his attendance at that conference. Does that change your opinion in any
No,
way?
it doesn't change my opinion, because we saw what he literally recently just posted, and the coddling is for the white boys. That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education.
Mediocre white boys. I dare you to find me one accomplishment. Give me one accomplishment from Ghetto Crockett. This is the guy who not only said you're not black if you don't vote for me, which is to me like insane. If Trump said if you vote for me and you're white, you're not white, it would be the same, outrage all over the place. He needs to be disqualified. Check this out. Back in 1977, Biden said integrating black students would turn schools into a, quote, jungle, a racial jungle. He said, I quote, I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle. This is the same guy the Democrats propped up, elevated, knowing that he was in cognitive decline, calling him sharp as a tack, thinking Americans are absolutely stupid. And it was only when he literally had a live stroke on live TV that they finally said, okay, enough is enough. And not because they cared about him, but because they knew, you know what, we're not going to win with this guy. So they got rid of him. They kicked him to the curb. It was an announcement on Sunday on X. It wasn't even an official press conference. It was a stinking letter that he probably had no idea. He probably woke up and he's like, what? I'm not president anymore? So don't give me your fake outrage. Don't give me your fake concern. Don't give me your, my God, this is awful. This is so racist. I can't believe it. Because we're not falling for it anymore. It might have worked before, quite frankly, before Elon bought Twitter and turn it into the only bastion of free speech. It might have worked 4, 5, 6 years ago, but not anymore. We're sick and tired of it. This amazing, strong American woman that I'm going to share with you right now has a word or two to say to Chuck the Buck Schumer, who actually had the audacity of invoking Jim Crow when it came to this SAVE Act, which is simply designates that American citizens are the only people who should be voting in American elections, denigrating people of color, minorities, by saying it's repression. Because if you institute voter ID, guess what? You're going to leave all these African Americans out to pasture because they can't have access to a voter ID, which is the biggest insult ever. Watch.
What they're trying to do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting.
See, this is where my righteous anger pop up, because I know what he's saying is a lie. I live in the South. I've been living in the South my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I go to vote every single time there's an election. And guess what? I show my ID. I write my signature. They check to make sure who I am. I go vote. No problems. Nobody asking me any questions. Nobody making me count the jelly beans in the jar. And quit lumping us in the people of color category. We're Black Americans. And we are citizens, and nobody is taking away our right to vote. What they are doing is they're using Black people, going back in the past, provoking emotional manipulation, because they know if they say Jim Crow or slavery, Black people are going to be like, oh my God, he's right. They're coming against us. This has nothing to do with you, Black people. Wake up. People of color he talking about is illegal migrants. They don't have IDs. That's their new voting base. But letting these people use you. I've been having an ID since I was 15 years old. I'm 50 years old. Every Black person I know has an ID. You need an ID to drive. You need an ID to go into a club. You need an ID to fly on a plane. You need an ID to go into another country. You need an ID to buy liquor. You need an ID to buy cigarettes. I don't know any Black person without an ID. Even the poorest of the poor Black people have an ID. JJ down the street that dig in the trash can that I pass by, and he always bothering me about a little bit of money. And when I feeling a little giving, I give him $5. Guess what he do? He go straight into the liquor store and go buy him some liquor. But before he do, he present his ID. So even the homeless man got an ID. Black people, y'all can keep letting these liberals play in y'all face, but Malcolm X warned y'all about these people. They're using you. This is about getting illegal migrants to vote. They don't have an ID, so they don't want any questions whenever they walk in there. They are the Democratic Party new voting base. They are the new slave.
Woo! Preach, mama, preach. That is her ID there on TikTok. Is Christ is the way. God bless you, girl. Well, check this out. Newsweek just covered Nicki Minaj fans flooding social media with posts announcing they've left the Democrat Party for the Republican Party. God bless Nicki Minaj.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan.
Treasure troves of Nicki Minaj fans have been coming out and saying, I'm done with the Democrats. My eyes have seen the light. I'm waking up. And this is the shift that I'm talking about. Nicki Minaj also pointed out that this is probably one of her most viral posts. She's been getting all these streams. And she said, are y'all understanding? These people have been sacrificing, you can see, as a way of gaining and maintaining power. If you ever vote Democrat again, which is a nice, affectionate moniker a lot of us have used, you're just as soulless as they are, will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times, since I was trying to not say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated, until I tell you all about the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard. You know, Jay-Z, who you see pictured there with Beyonce and Aaliyah, when he was, both of these girls were underage. Jay-Z is all over the Epstein files. He has been incriminated, implicated, in any way indicated as somebody who has traversed and participated in that demonic person's island rituals. Holy macadamia nuts. Mike Tyson also says, I'm 100% with Trump joining MAHA, the MAHA movement with Robert Kennedy Jr., trying to make America healthy again. Listen to what he says about Trump.
You have a great relationship with President Trump. You guys have known each other since the 80s. You've been at Bedminster. You're just at Mar-a-Lago. How is the president doing?
He looks beautiful, happy, functional. He's enjoying the people. I can't even explain his mood. He's just, we've never seen any president like this before. And not in your lifetime, nor in mine.
That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. When you guys used to hang out back in the day, any funny stories you want to tell us?
Nah, he was just a businessman and he ran his business right. And that was just a great idea when he decided to have me fight in Atlantic City. Because I never thought that Atlantic City would ever be. I just didn't like Atlantic City back there. I just wasn't an Atlantic City person. And he made me an Atlantic City person. I even moved there one time. I lived there for a few years.
And you made a lot of money in Atlantic City. And he did too.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. But listen, my whole experience with President Trump is that he's just a genuine, real person. If he got your back, he's with you 100%.
Yeah, he's a loyal guy. That's sure.
My experience with him. That's my experience with him, yeah. That's why I'm for him 100%, because he's never been nothing before me.
You want to know why the Democrats are panicking over Nicki Minaj, Mike Tyson, and this whole movement of Trump actually getting things done and these DEI hires? Wool has finally been pulled over the eyes of the American people about this deceptive, radical, extreme version. I had a really great talk with a friend of mine who's a prominent doctor, one of the best doctors in his field. And I think he put it best. He says, all you need is just a semblance of intelligence to see this party is completely nuts. I mean, they've gone off the deep end. They're not Democrats. They are so radical that Democrats, 10, 20 years ago are now, you would look at them and consider them MAGA. I mean, literally. And so it's just so amazing to see this, the truth, awakening, enlightenment. And I think this is one of the best videos I want to share with you. Chuck Schumer saying that like having IDs for officers is okay, but showing your ID to vote, like nobody's falling for that garbage anymore. Getting upset over this meme that President Trump posted, which he probably didn't even know about. It was at the very tail end of that video. It was obviously a mistake and he deleted it. While you have anti-ICE, paid anti-ICE protesters yelling racial epithets at black federal agents who are simply doing their job. And when I say racial epithets, I mean the worst of the worst. Think hard R. That's what they're doing. But is there any outrage? Is there any protest? Is there any wall-to-wall coverage of this on the woke media apparatus? Of course not. And I'm going to share with you this one last video that I think buttons up this entire video beautifully. Check out this woman who says what happened to her when she left the Democrats and came over to the other side. This is beautiful.
I absolutely have to respond to this comment because that's important to me, to let people know what did I get when I went over to the Republican Party. Number one, first and foremost, which was most important to me, I got the freedom to be me. I got the freedom to be Sam, to say what the Sam want to say, to feel how Sam want to feel, to like who Sam want to like, to not like who Sam want to like. That is the most important thing that I got, was my freedom. Okay? Number two, I got acceptance. They accepted that I didn't think like them on a lot of things. And that was fine for them. They didn't say shit to me about it. They had no problems with it whatsoever. None. Okay? That is more important to me than anything. What do you thought I was going to say? I got some reparations, some money, no, because it's not about that. When you have been in bondage for decades and generations, there is nothing more important in this life than your freedom. And I got the freedom to think, to feel, to talk to be around whoever the I want to without judgment. And that, my friend, that is everything for me. Everything. Oh, and you know what else I got? Acceptance. They accepted that I didn't think like them in every which way. They accepted that I didn't even look like them. They accepted that. They accepted my past. They accepted my present. They accepted everything about me. I was accepted. And not because I was a Republican, but this is the first time I felt accepted for being me. And I love it over here. Every minute of it. I love it over here.
There you have it. I couldn't say it any better myself. Welcome, and we welcome all of you. This gives me so much hope, y'all. We're going to get our country back, get our country in the right direction. We have to win the midterms. We have to end the filibuster. We have to end the 60 Senate vote cloture so we can actually pass voter ID and the rest of our America First agenda. I've said it a million times. We need balls. We need the kind of balls that we voted for. And who am I talking to? You, GOP. You guys need to get the balls of President Trump and take action, or else it's all over. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. Share this with everybody. Even if you're watching on TV, you can do it with your remote. Tap the thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.